Good morning, everybody, and welcome to In the Kitchen with Rachel and John. I would not be here without my incredible partner and really the star of the show. This is Rachel Wong, who's in charge of our nutrition program at Lombardi and an incredible go-to person for all of us down there. And I go and knock on your door in the middle of the clinic and say, can you help me? So welcome, Rachel, and thanks so much for sharing some of your tips this morning.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. And I love working in our clinic with our patients, but I love just as much as being in the kitchen here. And so thank you for having me, and we're looking forward to sharing some fun cooking tips today.
We are actually going to cook some stuff right now, make some stuff right now. But I thought we'd maybe start off our session by your sharing with really everybody. What are the common things that people are coming to ask you about? Because I think a lot of folks ask us things, ask family and friends things. What makes it to your level as common problems that our GI cancer patients have?
Yes, that's a wonderful question. One of the most commonly asked questions that I receive in clinic is, number one, how can we eat to maintain weight and to maintain optimal nourishment during our treatment as we go forward? A lot of patients that I see already have lost a lot of weight as they have just been diagnosed. And sometimes it's just because their appetite has been diminished, or it's because they're having physical issues digesting food.
So when I just tell them eat some more ice cream, is that the right answer?
It's part of the right answer, but I include that in my answer. Ice cream can actually be a great way to add extra calories and fat, but of course, there are many other types of foods that you can have in your diet, including proteins like lean meats, like fish and chicken and beef, and even some pork is okay. Eggs are great, for those who like them. Yeah. Cheese and yogurt, and actually even beans and legumes. Now, with our particular patient population, we do see a lot of patients have some challenges with digesting certain foods like fibers due to their nature of their disease. So working with the dietitian is very important, because you have to kind of decide and look at the whole picture and see what works best for the patient. They may need like lower fiber foods, or need to modify like the frequency by which they eat and the volume by which they eat for better tolerance.
Yeah, I was thinking that must be high on your list of questions, because so many of our patients have had parts of their upper GI tract removed, or even their entire stomach, or major sections of their bowel, and so they just can't eat normally, quote unquote.
Absolutely.
So what is that high on your list for issues?
Yes, absolutely. I see it almost every day. And so the things that I really encourage with our patients is to really focus on separating out those meals. So we don't recommend a typical 3 meals a day kind of eating pattern, but more so 6 small meals. Like kind of wake up, have a little breakfast at 8 or 9, then have a mid-morning snack, and then lunch around 12, 1 o'clock, a 3 p.m. snack, then a light dinner, and then maybe an evening snack too. So that's usually a lot easier to handle when you're not able to eat as much. Your stomach feels as if it's shrunken a lot of the time. And even though it physically may not be smaller, in some cases it can be, it does feel like it's a lot harder to eat when you don't have that much space.
Yeah. So many of my patients complain of sort of gas and bloating, and in upper, lower, both directions. Is there a way to eat your way out of that?
Yes, there are some dietary modifications that you can make with your diet to help improve the digestion and tolerance to food. Some things that can impact and increase gas production are foods that are high in fibers, but also things like lactose and high-fat foods. Certain types of cancers, like pancreatic cancer, for example, individuals may experience some fat malabsorption, and that can cause increased gas production and other unwanted side effects too. And in those cases, it's best to talk with your doctor or your dietitian, just so it can be found out if there are other things that can help with the digestion, like medications. But outside of that, modifying fiber intake and also increasing water intake helps a whole lot. And so if you're drinking enough water, it helps with the fiber breakdown in the body and creates less gas overall, and also eating smaller amounts.
And are you okay when I say to patients, like, yes, if you're drinking a lot of water, that's good, but particularly if you're struggling with your weight, to have something with some calories in it.
Yeah.
So the vitamin waters and the sports drinks, but they also have a lot of sugars. Is that okay? What's your take on sugar in cancer patients?
Yeah, that's another high up question on the list there. So sugars come in all forms, and it's not to say that sugars are necessarily bad for you, because there are natural sugars in the diet, in your diet, that are actually very important for you to help maintain good nourishment and energy levels through your treatment. And so consuming sugars that have nutritional value is most advised, because then it'll give you strength and it'll give you vitamins and minerals, and it does not cause this cancer to grow. Consuming foods like ice cream and candies can certainly be consumed, but more so in moderation, so that it's not your main meal, but so that you can enjoy it, because even going through this journey, as difficult as it can be, it's also important to enjoy your food and also have things in moderation that you like.
Normally, when I'm in the kitchen wearing this apron, there's a glass of wine in my hand.
Yes.
What about booze in our patients? Is this something they should, I get asked a lot.
Yeah,
Should they stay away from it? Is it terrible? Is it bad? I have my answer, but what's your answer?
So I often recommend to patients that unless their doctor advises them to absolutely abstain, which generally is not the case, a glass or so, usually one, is fine with a meal. Most patients, I find, they don't really crave to having wine or beer, although occasionally some do. So right during treatment, they don't, but kind of outside, they're like, can I have a glass? And usually it's okay. Yeah. But alcohol, like anything, in moderation, is all right. And it should not take up the majority of your diet.
That is so cool. All right, let's have some fun. You've got a recipe for us to make. I'm your sous chef, right? Got the thing on and everything. I'm ready to go. So introduce what we're going to do, or what you're going to have me do.
Yeah, so this recipe, so today I would like to make something called energy bites. And I picked this recipe because I wanted to share something that was easy to make, that anybody can do in even 10 minutes. And it's something that is high in calories and protein for our patients, because our patients need extra nutrients. And it's something that can be stored away and kept for the week, so that you can bring them with you to your treatments or to your office visits, so you have something small and easy to have with you. So this is what we're going to do, and yes, I'm going to have you start getting in dirty in the mix.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm going to roll up my sleeves. We have washed our hands.
Yeah, we
you
have
made
washed our
me
hands.
wash my hands. Just so our audience knows, she made me go over there and wash my hands, which I've done. All right, tell me what to do.
All right, so these energy bites are very simple, and they can be made in different modifications, which I'll share a little bit more about. But today, we're going to do a base of oats, peanut butter, some chia seeds, which is in this little jar over there, and some chocolate, which everybody loves chocolate, and a little honey for sweetener. We may or may not add some chocolate, so we'll see how we feel.
The texture is when you get there, huh?
Exactly.
All right,
so first we're going to start with the oats. We're going to start with a cup.
I know how to do that. You want the solid dry cup? There we go.
Dry cup.
My wife Liza tells me I have to use the proper measuring tool, because they are not the same. Really, is that true?
Yes, well, there's...
Because I haven't won an argument with my wife in maybe ever. And I've been married
just let her win on
37
that.
years. Okay.
I don't want to mess up any relationship things there.
Really? Really? I mean, we've already written a book, so what the hell?
That's true.
Okay, 1 cup oats.
All right, 1 cup oats.
Dump in the blue bowl?
Go ahead,
Blue bowl,
in.
I got it, I'm in.
You're doing such a good job.
So that was the tough part.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Next.
Now we can, so we're going to go with the dry ingredients, and then we'll add the
I think
wet
that's
ingredients.
a great strategy.
Okay. So now we can add some of the chocolate chips.
This is the
Yep.
part. Now, how much am I adding?
We're going to do a half a cup.
Half a cup, so that's that one. Or I could just guess half of that one, right?
You can do a little more.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. How precise is this recipe?
Actually, that's the good thing about this recipe. It doesn't have to be exactly precise, because some of the mix-ins can be added in a little later if needed.
Whoops, I spilled too many chocolate chips in it.
This might be dessert, you know.
You're going to make good, chocolate oats and France. You put extra. Yes, ma'am, I've got my half cup in.
All right, half cup chocolate chips. Now we're going to add some of the seeds. So that's this here. So chia seeds.
Okay, I realize this is not the original jar.
No.
But I saw this, and it says organic on it. So,
good question.
I go to the grocery and the organic section, and then there's the not organic section. Do I care as a cancer patient?
So as a cancer patient, I definitely get asked this a lot. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have only organic foods. The scientific research has not shown definitively that having all organic foods in your diet or only organic foods in your diet mean that it'll impact your cancer outcomes and the effectiveness of your treatment.
Yeah.
So while I sometimes can encourage you to choose organic when you can, you absolutely don't have to. And it oftentimes it's very expensive for some organic foods, so there's no need to cause excess strain, even financially on buying all organic foods.
Yeah, I always worry that people have been eating one way all their lives. They get cancer, and then once they get cancer, they decide now's the time. I'm going to change everything I do, and sometimes it doesn't sit well with them. So anyway.
And also the other thing to keep in mind is that even conventional foods have a lot of nutrition, just the same amount of nutritional value. It's not that organic foods have even more nutritional value necessarily. So you get the vitamins and the minerals from even conventional foods.
Okay. So what are these things?
This is chia seeds.
This looks suspicious. So if I put this on one of those pig things, I'd grow chia.
Yes.
This would do it?
I think so.
I could make my own chia pet with this?
I think so.
Really? Can I take whatever we don't use home and make my own little chia pet?
Yes, it'll be our experiment.
All right, I'll do that. So how much of the chia seeds do we need?
All right, so we're going to actually do a half cup of chia seeds
That's a
as
lot.
well.
That's a lot.
Yes.
We're going to grow green stuff out of our you-know-whats after this. Don't you think that might happen? No.
Yes. Well, so the great thing
is short, though. It never gets really long, the chia seeds, right? So nobody will know. It's a secret thing. Okay.
And chia seeds are really
just
good.
In there?
Yep.
Oh, just dump it in
there.
Okay.
They are high in protein. They have fiber. They have a lot of vitamins and minerals in them.
Where do you get these? What aisle is that? Aisle 4, 5?
So I would say that you can get them from the normal grocery store, but in the normal health food area.
In the health food section.
Yeah. They're non-refrigerated, but when you open them, I do recommend that you keep them in the refrigerator for longer.
If I have this in my cart, will people look at me funny?
No, it's actually become quite popular.
Okay, so I'll be a cool guy in the grocery store?
Especially in our clinic, because almost all our patients know about them.
They're all on chia. Yeah.
They're like chia seeds.
I could talk cool now, because are you on your chia seeds? How are your chia seeds?
How do you know?
Yeah. All right, we've gotten that.
Great, so chia seeds are in there, and now we do the wet things.
All right.
All right, so we're going to start with the peanut butter.
That's a dry thing.
Oh, that is true.
We're going to use that later.
We can add that in. So these are just kind of taste add-ins, so they can be added in after.
We'll do that later.
So
now what's next?
Why don't we give this mix a stir first?
Okay. Here, I'll even use it some more.
Works good. Yep. Just to make it a little bit more.
All right. This looks good. You can see those chia seeds starting to germinate in this. So
I'm sure your wife probably knows about them too.
No.
She's going to be very proud of you for having them.
She's rarely very proud of me, so maybe this will be the time. Okay, here we go.
All right, so now we can go ahead and do the peanut butter.
All right, how much of this do we need?
We're going to do a half cup of peanut butter in there.
That's going to be a lot. I bet this is already sealed. Now, I grew up as a child downwind from the Jif peanut butter plant.
Oh.
And this is Skippy. So, I'm okay with Skippy, but there are certain people who only will eat one kind of peanut butter. Is this your brand? Do you use?
I actually,
I
do like Skippy a lot.
You're a Skippy girl.
I do.
I'm kind of a Jif guy. I don't know why. We should maybe take a poll of our audience. Half a cup. Yes. Can I use 2 quarters, or you want me to do 1
We do want a half a cup because we want the mixture to be enough to the right consistency that we can form them into the balls.
But can I put in 2 quarters?
Oh yes, yep.
Is that a quarter?
You can. And we can even, honestly...
Just use a spoon.
Yeah, and
just
eyeball.
Guess.
Yes. You might want
this one? Plastic one?
All right. Whichever one will fit.
That
one's fine.
I like this one. Oh, that Jif looks really... Oh, that's Skippy. I'm sorry. All right. You want it to be pretty close?
Yeah, pretty close.
All right. All right. Look at that team out there. Who says I couldn't do this? Lots of people.
That looks good. That's perfect.
Is that about right?
Yes.
All right. So, oops, I've already made a miss.
That's why we got the aprons.
Got the aprons. I'm going to put that over there, and then I'm going to use my little spoon, and it just
Yes,
goes in there.
Go
just
right on top, because we're going to have to mix it all in together.
I have to tell you, as a GI oncologist, there are a lot of jokes that are coming to my mind right now, but we're okay. We're okay. I'm not going to. I promised I would not do
But I think I just read your mind. So.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a beautiful line of work we're in.
It is.
It is. We're lucky to do it. All right. Now, I need something else?
We just did peanut butter. Honey.
Honey, how much of that?
Yeah, so we're going to do about 1/3 of a cup of honey.
So the beautiful thing is, this isn't our house, so we don't have to clean up.
I know, you did make a mess already.
How much am I, 1/3 of a cup?
Yes, roughly 1/3 of a cup. And this can be certainly adjusted for your preference.
That's 1/4, so now I have a problem.
Why don't
Can I use that one? Can I just use
Yeah, let's see what this is.
like that?
And
This could be a math problem.
yes, here's
Okay.
a third. And
Okay,
honestly,
thank
well, we can just kind of eyeball. I don't know if it'll pour.
It is pouring.
Oh,
okay.
it is.
All right.
Perfect.
Do you want me to
Okay.
pour there first? Third of a cup.
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right. This is honey. Honey's good stuff. Bees. I like bees.
Mm-hmm.
You like bees?
I love bees. Well, only when they don't sting you.
Do you get stung? Do you
I've
get,
gotten stung once
do you have
recently.
allergies to bees?
No, thank goodness.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't really care. I don't think, there's some people, bees just sort of coexist. Yeah, you want to do one too? Because it is
Yeah.
fun. I'm getting all the fun. I always get the fun.
But I'm not strong enough.
Oh, yeah.
I got
Did
it.
you do it? Okay. I barely did mine, so thank goodness you made me look better. Okay. All
These
right.
are special honeys, actually.
Are they? Did you get
Yes.
fancy schmancy honeys?
Well, I was told by our colleague who supplied these that were
Ah.
fancy honeys.
So these are, only the best honey.
Yes.
Can it just be any honey?
Yeah, it can just be any honey. And actually, I should also mention that this recipe can be made without honey, and you can use dates. So you can use dates as a natural sweetener as well. So it's a very versatile recipe that can
Okay.
go a long way.
And isn't honey have like bacteria in it and stuff? Isn't it
Yes.
alive, honey?
Mm-hmm.
Did I just learn that? Is that true?
So bacteria does live in some of the honey, and that's why.
It's just all going in there,
Yes,
so we're just
okay,
going to go.
we're just
You
gonna
just
go ahead.
keep pouring, all right?
And that should be enough too.
I have a feeling I'm coming back here
To the
with
spoon here.
some sort of help.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to get sticky with making this?
Well, I'm gonna have you do the mixture with the spoon, so you don't have to get
Oh, I
all
see.
too dirty.
All right.
All right, and then I think we can go from there and add. I'll just add a little bit of. Well, I'll have you add few dashes of cinnamon.
That's this, right?
So these are additives that can be added after, but
I
cinnamon.
really like cinnamon.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
There you go.
There you
I
go.
even like a little more.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Cinnamon.
And then just for the audience, so they know, like you can add things like protein powder and even some cocoa and vanilla in there.
Vanilla.
Yes,
But vanilla's like rare right now.
it is hard to get.
It's Madagascar, right? So real vanilla is on this island that's only grown there. But
Yeah.
they'll figure it out. The planet's just there for our taking. Just
Yeah.
eat whatever we want. It'll grow back. Okay.
All right, so you can go ahead and mix.
All right, all right.
So we really this is going to take a little.
Is this all made in America? Because I'm sure some people will care.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What are we going to make little like balls out of this?
Yeah,
Oh.
we're going to get in
And
there
then-
once it's all mixed
And then
in.
once this is made, so, and can it sit out or does it need to be in the fridge?
So once this is made, the recommendation is actually to refrigerate the balls for at least an hour or so that they're a little bit chilled. The consistency will change a little bit so that it's a little firmer. However, they can be eaten right away.
Okay.
So it just helps with the consistency of it to have it keep refrigerated. And once made, you should store it in the refrigerator until they're ready to be eaten.
Yeah. I think I stole advice you gave a patient of mine once to say, just make something like this and leave it around so you don't have to make something 6 times a day. You just drive by. You were saying earlier you want 6 small meals. You drive by, you pop open the fridge, you have 1 or 2 of these,
Exactly.
and you down it with a big glass of water
Or milk.
or milk, and you're on your way. Or a big raw egg.
I don't know about the raw
What
egg.
about raw eggs?
Not for our cancer patients, and mostly not for us regular people here.
Yeah.
There's a lot-
Brown eggs or white eggs, does it matter?
Actually, it doesn't really matter.
You're okay with that?
I'm
You don't-
okay. Yes.
Why does my daughter get so mad at me when it's not like white eggs? Or she only
Not
wants brown eggs.
She only wants brown eggs.
That's
It
a
can
free
be
range thing, or what is that?
I mean, it can be a little misleading because people think like brown eggs are healthier, but the most important thing about when you're looking for eggs, if you're going to eat them, and finding the most nutritionally rich eggs is looking for cage-free eggs or free range, and or pasture-raised. Pasture-raised means that the chickens are
They can just go
run
anywhere.
around and do whatever they want to do, so
Take
they're
a
not like
bus
just in a
somewhere,
cage all the time.
go to the
Yeah.
go to the concert. They can do
Yeah.
whatever they want.
And I think believe that the color of the eggs itself is dictated by the chickens that are laying the
Really?
eggs. That's what I believe. Yes.
Really?
I believe
The
I
chickens
looked
are
that
like yellow.
up. or bright green.
You're bright green, yeah. Around Easter, the chickens change color. a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I think
So the
I've
mix
done a
is looking
pretty
pretty
decent
good.
job.
Got a good
I'm
hand
sure,
in there.
as a sous chef, I've been
Yep.
warned before that this matters. Doing this enough
having a
makes
really
it better.
good mix in there.
And if you were eating one and you got one that had like a lot of one thing, you kind of go, ooh, who made these? Right, so the consistency probably is good.
Yes.
And this could also be sort of physical therapy, upper body physical therapy. So we're combining two departments in one.
There you go.
Okay, now what do I do?
All right, so now we're gonna get dirty. I'm gonna just touch it real quick to make sure that the
How'd I
consistency
do?
is good.
You want some extra something?
I think
more
that
oats?
we might do a little bit extra oats. Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's what the good thing about this recipe is if it can be adjusted and modified. So
What do you think
that's
about that?
perfect. Yeah.
All
So we'll
right.
give it another mix so
Wait,
that
wait.
it's.
I mean, you got to do the oats to chocolate.
Someone's gonna be
ratio
high on chocolate later,
is really important.
bouncing off the walls.
Oats to chocolate ratio matters.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, give it one
And if I'm,
more stir in
okay,
there.
now I got to go back again.
Yes, more physical therapy.
How do you end up seeing most of your patients? Is it through the pandemic? Have you been doing a lot more phone calls and Zooms, or still hanging out in clinic, or both?
Yeah, so that's I guess the positive thing that came out of the pandemic was that we were able to start telehealth visits with our patients, and
Yeah,
that
thank you.
greatly increased my availability to our patients. And so,
So you're exhausted.
but I love counseling. So I am able to see patients, both virtually, over the phone, or in person, and so patients actually really appreciate that too. Just having that option so that they don't have to come in, because a lot of our patients come from far away.
They do.
And sometimes their drives are over 2
Well,
hours.
and you just can't be there all the time. I mean, sometimes my clinic's right outside your office, and I come and knock on your door, and you're almost always willing to come see me. But there's a time when you got your own life too, and you need to organize that and
That's true.
have more time for folks. But you're
Yeah.
always so generous with your time. I never really
Thank
know how
you.
you do it. Okay.
Look
How's
how
that
nicely
now?
mixed.
You
That's
wanna do that?
perfect.
You
Yes.
like the consistency or more
Perfect.
chocolate?
No, that's perfect.
Okay, all
That's
right.
perfect. All right. So now
How
the
big you
final
want 'em?
step.
Golf ball?
A little bit, like an inch maybe, or a little bigger,
Golf ball,
if you want to eat that much.
Grape?
Between a golf ball and a grape.
cherry tomato.
Cherry. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay, good. All right.
Okay.
So
We'll do it
we'll
together
do this
here.
together. Okay.
Yes.
And you just kind of roll them.
Yep.
This is sort of a sausage ball, but not.
Yes. So
Okay.
this is why clean hands are very important, because your hands are
Now I
in
get
there.
it.
Yes.
I haven't even, I think, scratched
So
my face, but the film
you'll
will
just
tell
have
us.
to roll a little
You do
slowly.
have to kind of pack it.
Yeah.
You do. It's not just, it's sticky, but it's not sticking to me any. Is this
Yeah.
the sort of thing that you put a little flour on your hands sometimes? You don't need to.
Because these are no bake, like you
that
don't
good
need
enough?
to. Yeah. So
All right.
that's it.
It's okay?
Yeah.
I passed the
So
test.
once you refrigerate them,
Look at the difference. See, this is a professional. This is an oncologist right there. Look at the difference between those two. You've made me look really bad.
all right, you got more dough so you can have many attempts at it.
I'm the director of the center, and look what I did there. It's terrible.
But it looks like it'll taste delicious.
It does look. That'll be
Yes.
the one I have to
It
eat.
has all the chocolate in there.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. I got a heavy laden chocolate one. All right. Okay. Well, as we put these together, you said they're related things that you could do. You were going to have us make an egg sandwich.
We were,
Tell
but
me a little bit about that. What was that going to look like?
yeah, so that was another idea I had, because it also is something that's very nutritious and high in protein. And easy to make. And so we were gonna do, and this may be something I'll just still bring up in the future as a different recipe, but we were gonna make some scrambled eggs where you add in certain vegetables, and you can add in certain meats and cheese, like feta, for example. And then you can just pour them into these little muffin tins and you bake them.
Oh.
I think only for 8 to 10 minutes.
Oh.
And then, which I have to double check on that exact timing, but you have them like a whole muffin tin worth of eggs. And they can be consumed and brought with you to your treatments or to your clinic visits, so that you have a
And they can
protein-rich
just travel.
food. Yes, well, in an ice pack, I guess. If you do, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're going to eat them right away, then
We
they
do
work
keep
too.
people there a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, we do. We know that.
Well, sometimes the patients have, their
got
the
stuff.
doctor's visits, and then their labs, and
Yeah,
then their
but don't
treatment
tell
visits.
them that. They're already fussy enough at how long they're down there.
You're
See,
very fast at these.
Yours, but look. See, that was one now.
I'm one
mine.
behind.
Look at that terrible one you did. I can't believe you did that. They do look good.
They smell good too, don't
and
they?
how, give me a sense. How many calories in one of these balls?
So I'll be one of these kind of, not this one. This one's probably a little more.
You were mean. Right.
But probably about 100 calories, 90 to 100 calories per,
Okay.
per ball. A tablespoon of peanut butter is
So I
about
could eat 15 a day and I'd be in good shape.
I wouldn't recognize
Okay.
you probably. Couple weeks.
All right.
But you would feel good. You'd have a lot of energy.
I'd have energy.
You
Okay,
would.
okay.
And these do help because they're small, so you can just, like you said earlier, pop a couple in your mouth.
What if you put a
take it
little
home.
ground coffee in here?
That actually would be a great idea.
Isn't that a good idea?
We should write that
A little
recipe.
caffeine in there.
Yeah, coffee and chocolate.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I think you just,
It is.
hit the
We invented
jackpot.
something. I'm sure Starbucks will have one soon on their app.
We got to put a patent in that. So
Quickly. All right. Well, as we finish rounding these out, is there any other pieces of advice you want to give our
that's a great
audience?
question. I think for our audience, I would like them to know that it's most important to plan your days out, especially with eating and staying nourished, because your days are often very busy and you have appointments and things to do outside of just your normal life. So it helps to, if you do need to improve your nutrition, it helps to plan it out. Sit down together with your family members and figure out what you're going to have for your meals, or at least where you're going to get your meals, because that's the one big challenge that I find with my patients is that they're just so busy focusing on their healthcare and their plan that they don't always think about, okay, what are we going to do to eat? What are we going to have? And that makes it harder to have a nutritious meal, and then therefore harder to keep weight up if needed and stay energized.
All right. Well, this is the first, but we hope one of many sessions with Fun in the Kitchen with Rachel and John. And so we hope you in the symposium have enjoyed our little segment.
Yes.
And now I'm going to eat the really...
Yes, I was going to ask if you were going to try.
I'm going to eat the bad one, the one I made. So here, cheers. Let's see. Oh,
Pretty good?
that's good.
All right, I'm going to have to try one
That's
too
good.
then.
You got a whole
I'll
bit.
try this one that I just made.
You make that one. What do you think? Did we do okay?
Oh yeah, that's good. The Skippy's
You know what?
really good.
We have these and you don't have them because you're online. But do make these. This is a fun little treat. Easy
Oh,
to
yeah.
make, very quick to make. You got all of the stuff in your house and enjoy it.